Welcome to another episode of Expendable by Fibonacci X. Expendable is a series of conversations where we speak to founders, operators, investors, and try to demystify the nuances of venture building. Hopefully, you find these conversations useful. Thank you. So, thank you, Shashank, for joining us.
It's my deep honor.
So, we met roughly a couple of years ago when we were starting to put together a team for Fibonacci X, transitioning to venture platform kind of a model. And I was amazed by your journey. You spent a lot of time at MapmyIndia, and then you started dabbling with early stage founders, and then you yourself joined in, I would say, a funded startup in EV space. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, etc., and what has been your professional journey?
First of all, thanks for inviting me. And it's always a pleasure when we are joining the friend podcast. As you say, I know you from last 2 years, and a good quality about you. I was always waiting to know your the disciplined behavior and that abundance knowledge of the financial sector. That always excites me. Regarding me, I started my career in 2003. I landed Delhi in 2003, to be very precise. And then I started my career. I got a break for the telecom sector. Uh, in 2003, it was a telecom boom, and I was used to sell company-owned, company-operated SIM connections, etc., and big corporate clients. That's where the DNA of corporate sales came in me. I think when I was in Idea Cellular in the Delhi zone, at the time I serviced a customer. It was L&T. ONGC does such kind of the big clientele. And doing that, I got a break to serve HP IPAC. Why I'm putting this name? Because in 2007 era, it was a BlackBerry era. And at the time, accessing email was a privilege. At the time, I got hired for a Delhi NCR where we were used to sell GPS phone. So first 5-6 years, I was a part of telecom industry. And during that journey, when I started, the selling the map phone, at that time, I came to know that about MapmyIndia. And you will be amazed that my luck has brought to MapmyIndia, where I served 13.5 years and fortunate that where I serviced, got chance to facilitate location-based services to most of the OEM, and today 90% car where navigations are coming, I was part of that. All the car maker, and I saw the journey where all the car were coming without navigation, where even the car maker were saying, what is the use of navigation when you can ask any palwala to reach any destination, but somehow the journey from that, I saw that every car is coming with a premium experience. And today you will see that most of the car, 90% car are coming with a navigation loaded. And that's where I also got chance to learn about the happening EV. When Maruti was launching their, that test vehicle, so that time I was also doing that prototype work with Maruti, MG Motor, and one more client was there. So that's where I got fascinated about EV. And you won't believe that when Bull.Earth was raising their seed plus round, I got excited and I onboarded them in a seed plus round in my personal capacity also on a cap table. And now I'm glad I'm serving them as a vice president automotive. So these are my overall, that telecom, I will say mobile to automobile journey. From automobile industry, I've been involved more than 15 years.
Correct. So, MapmyIndia, obviously, everybody knows the story, right? And we have read about it, about a couple who starts mapping the streets by walking on the streets, and that becomes a public limited company.
Yeah.
And a huge value is unlocked. So talk about those that story. Like, are there any lessons for founders building in today's time from that story?
It's founded by Mr. Rakesh Verma and Rasmi Verma, and everyone respect for their great work, and they build it from their suite. I think, to be very frank, I saw there, the deep passion of building that, that company, and I will say that a tech infra, treating the entire team members, and they're deeply involved, and the entire, that success credit goes to the founder. And one thing I have to learn, that even at this stage, he's very much passionate, and every day he's devoting his all time. So
dedication,
dedication is there.
inner drive.
Yes, and yeah.
And did they take any professional money from outside when they were starting up, or did it happened organically?
When I joined, I think in 2008, I think after that they had a 2 round of, I think one round they raised, that is a Qualcomm venture. They had raised it in some time, and then after that one of the Japanese Genrin had joined, and then they went for IPO.
Okay.
So I had seen that 2 round of fundraise was there, but so yeah.
Okay. But initial years it was bootstrapped.
I joined a little bit late in 2008, and initial time I will say that I was limited to there also, to that servicing handset makers industry. From 2011, I got very seriously involved in automobile engagement.
Okay.
So,
and you also mentioned telecom. Now, telecom, I think as an industry, I remember when the first wave came, the bigger handphones, and then the second wave like Nokia 1100s. Then we moved to smartphones like HTC, and then iPhone, and now Oppo and other players, right? So it has been an interesting journey. So many players have left, don't exist now, like Hutch and all these players. So, and because you were involved in that phase when it was unlocking, right? A lot of things were happening in the early phase when the telecom spectrum opened up for private players. So, how do you look at telecom now in India?
very interesting story I can share you, that Destiny has selected my joining in MapmyIndia. I haven't selected. When I was servicing HP IPAC, we were offered by the country manager, Mr. Gaurav was there. He offered in the month of April with very target that if all of us do good, we will have out of country incentive. As an incentive, it will be out of country visit. After a few months, Apple has announced iPhone in $100, $200.
2007.
2007.
Yeah.
No, 2008, March or April.
Okay.
To be very frank. Okay. Apple has globally announced that they will sell the phone at $100 to $200. And immediately there was a very serious meeting among HP team, and we got 3 months paid notice. They suddenly decided to wrap it down. They just executed handheld business. It was not handset, it was handheld business. And that's where I got connected with MapmyIndia and I joined there, because we were doing some GPS testing. So at the time it was a voice. When we were saying it was a touch screen, STC was selling phone only due to touch and Windows OS. So I have seen that journey. But after arrival of Google OS, today you are seeing the Windows OS itself was struggling on phone. Even they purchased the Nokia, etc., but they're not succeeding. Now there is a different phase of telecom, because thanks to WhatsApp, every phone has WhatsApp. That's why phone has internet. And since phone has internet, you are able to do the tons of other works. I still remember when I was reaching on behalf of MapmyIndia to the seller product to the Aircel, their West division. So they started in 2012, internet in your pocket. That was their thing. And it didn't fly well in that time. But today, the same logic, you can say the Geo is building everything around that business ecosystem, that internet is your pocket, and our Gen Z is saying that you have a 10-minute delivery, you have every services, Zomato, all business ecosystem around GPS, all your data. So today, uh, operator has a different game. That's why Bharti or Geo is thriving because they have a more weightage to data than voice. So voice is one of the enabler, but data is the value addition, a core of their telecom offering. So data goes to now the enterprise version to the call center, M2M, SIM, everything. So undoubtedly, data is your need. That is your first, just like air. So if you are building any tech product, any services, you need data.
Hmm. Earlier, the focus was on
Voice.
and SMS and
Yes.
text messaging. Yeah, so that's interesting, and I think this GPS and location availability has unlocked so many startups. Let's say start with Uber, cannot function without location services.
True.
Right? So I think that's when these startups also came up when GPS was available through iPhone in the US.
Very true.
That's when Uber could see that in future, okay, we can check the location and we can reach the customer, etc.
I was hired in MapmyIndia to sell the navigation software. The product name was iNav, and the cost was 3,500 rupees of that hardware. So in 2008 to 9 times, so it was just reachable to the top society. They were having any phone, smartphone, 50,000 onward. It was a privilege, and then they were purchasing navigation software for 3,500. So just imagine that at the time, if you were thinking those kind of the services, it was not possible because those kind of phone reaches were limited to 3-4% of Indians. So today you think GPS phone starting is from 5,000 onward. A good smartphone which is 5,000 onward, it has GPS, and then internet is accessible with a 199 pack, etc. So we have a 90% market coverage with these two basic features. So you can build your any kind of mobility services or e-commerce services or delivery services. So it's possible.
Right. So the smartphone penetration and
Yeah.
then cheapening of the data, right?
True.
Both have enabled, unlocked many
Very true.
things for the whole ecosystem.